Greetings, good morning, noon, or night, and yes, voice reveal. Yay! So I saw this game, Clangen, on YouTube kind of a long time ago. I think it's almost been a full year. It's a fan edit by Cedarclan. If you haven't heard of it already, it's a warrior cat clan generator that allows you to create your own clan and watch your cats in your clan go through life, essentially. I saw it on YouTube and it looked fun, so I decided to try out the game and I loved it. So I thought it would be fun to create my own series, why not? So today a group of 10 cats appear. These were the cats the game randomly generated and gave me to work with. Shadetail, Rushhail, Mistlefur, Splashclaw, Fliptail, Jumppaw, Heatherpaw, Brownpaw, Hollowpaw, and last cat, Kiteleaf. She's an elder. She was old, and I felt bad for her, so I was like, yeah, I'll take you. So now that all of the cats have been introduced, it's time for their story to begin. It's a sunny day in Two Leg Place where the cats are currently located. All these cats have been spending like the last half moon together. Splashclaw makes a joke that they're kind of like a clan of cats while he's talking to Shadetail one day. This gets Shadetail thinking, and suddenly he's like, hey, we kind of are like a clan, and starts considering what it would take for them to officially become one. Shadetail pulls Rushhail, Mistlefur, and Splashclaw aside to speak with them about it, and most of them come to the conclusion of, why not, what's the harm in trying? Except for Rushhail. Rushhail is skeptical about whether or not StarClan is going to accept them as an official clan and help guide them. More so, he contradicts the what's the harm in trying attitude the other cats have and is a little worried StarClan might just smite them out of existence to let them know all the harm in trying. Shadetail gathers the other cats to tell them, and they're all excited about the idea of becoming a clan, especially a Brownpaw, because of course she would be. The first order of business is finding a camp, which Shadetail, Splashclaw, Fliptail, Brownpaw, and Rushhail go to investigate in the forest they like to call Cedar Forest. Cedar Forest was full of lush greenery and had trees that the cats couldn't even see the tops of. It had many streams and creeks, and as far as they knew, no other cat clans lived in it. They search most of the day and find a couple of places that they reject when Fliptail finds a nice little clearing that has a couple of large rocks and a fallen cedar tree log leaning against one of the rocks. They take a look around and Shadetail is rather pleased with the location. Rushhail goes to find the other cats to show them the new camp and everyone seems pleased with the area, and they begin to work on clearing it bit by bit and shaping the camp to their liking. Shadetail and his little band of cats spend the next few days building their camp, creating warrior and apprentice dens, and bringing brambles to line the outside of the camp with, when Mistlefur pulls him aside to ask what they're going to do about having a connection with StarClan. She says they don't have a place to communicate with them, and she's worried about not being able to receive messages from them, ask them for advice, or even be able to grant the future leader 9 lives when the time comes. Shadetail assures her they'll find the special place when the time is right, and to give her something else to focus on, he offers to start creating a medicine cat den with her, which she appreciates. While they are working one day, Hollowpaw calls out from his place at the apprentice den, where he's trying to make a clearing between a couple of bushes. He asks what the clan will be called, and the cats ponder it for a moment. Cats' voices start chiming in with ideas. Rushhail suggests Forest Clan, and Brownpaw scoffs at that. Fliptail throws out Tall Clan or High Clan because of all the tall trees around them. Heatherpaw chimes in with Cloud Clan, and Mistlefur with Pine Clan. Splashclaw points out that they could always just call the clan after the first leader, and the cats settle on that, and immediately Splashclaw quietly curses at himself. He doesn't have much of a chance at the leader role now. The name that all the cats could look forward to was SplashClan, in the middle of a forest with only a few water sources. By a quarter moon, the group of cats has managed to build a semi-secure camp wall, a roughly finished warrior, apprentice, elder, and medicine cat den, and have even started a small prey pile tucked away in one of the corners of camp. A leader den is yet to be made, but Shadetail isn't as worried about it at the moment, as he wants to make sure the clan is running smoothly in other areas. Mistlefur was out with Heatherpaw, content with collecting herbs to add to her den, and Rushhail and Splashclaw had taken a couple of cats with them to do some hunting to add to the prey pile. Shadetail realizes the younger cats haven't been assigned mentors, but one of the older cats have seemed to have taken one of the younger ones under their wing without being told. Splashclaw has started teaching Brownpaw, Fliptail was watching over Hollowpaw, Rushhail was often giving advice to Jumppaw, and Heatherpaw often tagged along with Shadetail or Mistlefur, curious to see what they were up to. So because of this, he figured it's alright and isn't very stressed about it as the apprentices are being taught and learning about becoming a warrior. When most of the cats return, the camp is fortified with more brambles, and Splashclaw reports to Shadetail about seeing a family of otters in their territory. Shadetail is surprised to hear otters live in Cedar Forest, but he isn't very concerned about them, and Splashclaw nods and goes back to work on the camp, Brownpaw on his heels. One of the last things they did was look for a good place to put the leader's den. Rushhail found a hidden entrance under a tree log that they had decided to call Cedar Perch, and thought it would make a good den. It appeared to be a tunnel a badger had made and abandoned long ago. Splashclaw went in it and complained that if he were leader, he'd be worried about the roof collapsing on him, but Rushhail said it probably wasn't likely, as the tree roots above it supported the dirt and kept it in place. Splashclaw still had his doubts about it, but the other cats seemed fairly happy with it, so overruled. Over the next quarter moon, the cats settled into camp, and many of the cats had shaped the nests in their respective dens to their liking. They decorated the leader's den with some moss, plants, and even some feathers Brownpaw and Heatherpaw found while exploring. No cat occupied the leader's den, however. It was reserved for when the leader of the clan was named and given their 9 lives. Kiteleaf discovered a small spring of water not far from the camp, which made Mistlefur happy. It would mean she wouldn't have to travel far to collect fresh water to bring back to her medicine den. Soon after Kiteleaf found the spring, Heatherpaw found something important. Late one night, he came into the camp and went straight to Mistlefur in her medicine cat den. He told her he'd been out doing some late-night hunting and he caught scent of a mouse. He chased the mouse right into what he thought were some bushes, but he realized he'd found a small cave that was illuminated purely by moonlight. Interested, Mistlefur asked him to lead her to the cave, and when they came back a while after, Mistlefur was almost bouncing like a kit into camp, and she went to Shadetail to wake him from the warrior's den. At first he was annoyed and tried to tune her out by covering his head with his paw, but when she told him that Heatherpaw had probably found their place to communicate with Cedarclan, he instantly woke up. Mistlefur's comment had caught the attention of the other cats, and they all started to excitedly ask where it was and what it was like. Mistlefur and Heatherpaw led Shadetail, Splashclaw, Rushhail, and Fliptail to the little cave. When they got there, they had a sight to behold. It was a small rocky entrance to a cliff that had been entirely covered by bushes. When you walked in, several cracks in the ceiling in the back part of the cave allowed moonlight to filter in and light up a certain section of it. Just looking at the interior of the cove from the outside gave them a mystical feel. Fliptail commented that it was a beautiful cove, a beautiful moonlit cove, and the cats decided Moon Cove is the perfect name for the cave. Shadetail asks if Mistlefur thought this was actually the place where they could communicate with Cedarclan, and Mistlefur tells him she actually drifted off to sleep in the cove and a cat came to her in her dreams. The cat was all white, almost invisible. Their fur was filled with stars, each one glistening and shining, and they had pure green eyes. Mistlefur says that the cat had come up to her and touched their nose with hers and murmured to her that the clan was under their watch. When Mistlefur had asked who the cat was, they simply smiled and drifted away, their green eyes the last part of them to fade. The cats go home, but most are too excited to sleep. The next morning, Shadetail gathers the cats together and lets them know that a place called Moon Cove has been found, and that is where Cedarclan will communicate with the clan. Many of the cats start to talk among themselves in low, excited voices. Splashclaw steps forward from the whispering group to ask in a clear meow, "So, who will be the leader?" And the cats quiet. There's a moment of silence as they consider before Mistlefur steps forward from the other cats. She says that Shadetail should be the leader, for his calm and kind nature, his want to do right, and because he's been the cat most of the clan has been turning to for guidance, and he hasn't let them down. Shadetail looks nervously at Mistlefur, and she gives him an encouraging smile. After a moment of consideration, the cats begin to stand and call out for Shadetail to be their leader. Rushhail is the last cat to join the cheering, and Splashclaw remains quiet, lost in thought. Shadetail and Mistlefur are quiet as they leave camp in the middle of the night and walk in the direction of Moon Cove. About halfway there, Shadetail turns to Mistlefur and asks her if she's sure he's cut out for the leader role. Maybe Rushhail or Splashclaw would have been a better choice. She reassures him that she's positive he is, and they're silent the rest of the way to Moon Cove. When they enter the small cave, Shadetail's a little confused and asks what he's supposed to do. Mistlefur instructs him to move to the far end of the cave and to lie in the middle of it, to allow the moonlight to shine on his fur, and allow himself to drift off. Shadetail follows her instructions and curls up in the middle of the cave clearing, a little skeptical, and closes his eyes. After a few moments, he opens them again and is surrounded by fog, and the entire cave is bathed in moonlight. He's a little confused as he doesn't immediately see any other cats, but then he turns around and nearly jumps at the presence of an all-white cat with bright green eyes. The cat smiles, and without a word, they stepped forward and touched their nose to the top of Shadetail's head. Oh, I can't believe I actually finished. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of episode 1. If I should continue the series, do let me know, as I've been binge playing this game for a whole entire day, so I've got a lot of weird snippets of random comments that are kind of put together to form a story. And if you like the narration format I chose and just think narrating it like a recap of all the events is better, feel free to let me know. If you enjoyed, I'd appreciate if you liked the video and let me know if you actually... It lets me know if you actually enjoyed it, and consider subscribing. I hope you have a very pleasant morning, noon, or night, and I'll catch you later. Bye!